luck is something that you definitely have a little bit in you, but you also can make. And I always love to impart that to my kids. Like, you have to make your own luck sometimes in life and set
Oh, yeah.
yourself up for that opportunity and prepare for it. I think there's even a famous quote about that exactly. It says, being prepared when the opportunity strikes is the definition of luck.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Girls Gone Gritty. Always love seeing you ladies, my weekly time with you across the screen. And thank you to all our listeners. And it's always exciting to figure out what went on this weekend because I know, ladies, Team Girls Gone Gritty crushed it at the High Five Skiathon this year. And our team raised $20,000, if not a little more, because we still have donations coming in. High Fives brought in almost $500,000. And it is
That's awesome.
literally the most magical day that you could possibly imagine. We had the opportunity to ski with a handful of the adaptive athletes. At one point at 3 o'clock, they have all the athletes and all the competitors and people that raised money do a group ski. And there were like 60 people coming down a run, full send. You had guys in sit skis. You had people in all different kind of adaptive apparatuses. Kelsey was in her hand paddles. And it's just a day that makes you feel good in your soul because you're giving back. And the cutest thing is that Dee Dee and her girlfriends last weekend said, we want to raise money for High Five. So they made all this jewelry. They made bracelets, earrings, which I'm rocking right now. If you're on YouTube, you can see the earrings that they made.
Yeah.
And they went around with this big sign and they said, we're selling bracelets. And they actually made almost $200. And they
That's
went
awesome.
and they just gave it right to High Fives. And it's just a
How they
magical
learn.
event.
This is, how they actually understand philanthropy and giving back. It's like a very cute initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it supports people that absolutely have got grit because
Oh, yeah.
if you're getting out on the ski slope with just regular person, you're gritty, and forget the people that have adversity that has been given to them or that has been brought upon them for them to like get out there on the slopes. And how was the weather? Did they get good weather for the event?
It was freezing. It was so cold. The snow was as
That's
hard
really
as
gritty.
it gets, which was really gritty because look, you're on sleds, you're on skis, you're on not really, some people aren't on two skis. I had one guy who we skied with. He was from Costa Rica. He's an amazing adaptive surfer, and he's just getting his groove skiing. And we were shooting on Thursday, and he has, a half a leg. He's skiing on one leg, sending it, catching air. And you hear their story. I mean, his leg got run over by a train because he was being chased by someone trying to take $2 out of his pocket. You're like, what? So you hear the stories, and it puts you into reality of, oh my gosh, like count your blessings, but to give back. And the most impactful message that someone said to me was, I was talking to the athletes. They said, we just feel so normal on our skis. And it just takes you back and you're like, oh my gosh. And it's true because you see them out there and they're just rock stars.
Like Team
So
Hoyt, the boy said to his dad, I
Yes.
don't feel handicapped when you and I are, doing an Ironman. It's
That's awesome.
amazing.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
All right. Oh,
Yeah.
well, a great day for us to debut our Got Grit sign in the background. For those of
Yay.
you that are watching on YouTube, we've got a nice little Got Grit backdrop for people that have grit or want to get grit. So you'll be seeing a lot of that sign.
And this sign was at Sugarbush North, which held the event. So many people were in front of it taking photos and videos and like, I got grit, you got grit. It was awesome. So
Perfect.
I love our new sign. How was your ladies'
Yay.
weekends, by the way?
Hey, it was good. I was here in New Jersey and it was a beautiful weekend. Actually, it's the beginning of that season that we know as St. Patrick's Day shenanigans here in the Northeast. Everybody's got their green on and everybody's ready to just bring it. It was a lot of outside day drinking and I have to say, I'm looking forward to the next couple of weekends of it because it's has just begun.
I was in rainy Florida and did not get a drop of sunshine. It was overcast and doomy and gloomy. But I'm back in sunny Jersey and I'm ready to get my green on.
So, Farley, what do we have this week for our top five? I know that there's just so many things going on in the world always, but we really try and go through and scour the top things that we think are something that our listening audience should kind of be in the know on.
We just like creative headlines. And so we're going to give you some of those. Number 5, total eclipse of the heart. Look for a red moon tonight into Friday morning. It's known as the blood red moon, and it's an indicator of things to come. What do you guys think that means?
Things that come in a cautious and very hesitant way, and I'm sure that has to do with people back in yesteryear being concerned about what a red moon means. The gods are angry, whatever. But I think it's a great opportunity any night you can to get out and see the moon. I love watching the moon rise and just being a part of nature anytime I can.
I love seeing the moon. It just comes up over the mountains and the skies turn red, and I think the moon brings out the craziness, the full ones in certain people. That's
Did
what
loony
it is.
come from lunar?
Yes,
There you go.
it did.
A full moon
There
brings out the loons.
It does, and gets crazy town. Whoop whoop.
Okay, number 4, toilet flush to camera flash. Fashion definitely went down the drain when Valentino chose a public bathroom as their backdrop. Enough's enough. Let's keep it classy. There's nothing classy about a bathroom and toilet stalls. And I spend enough time in the bathroom during the day. I don't know that I need to see a fashion show there.
Well, I think that shock value is what it is, and everybody has got gender and which bathroom you're supposed to enter or they're topics of conversation. So I think Valentino just tried to hit a chord on what it was. It was like back to our blood red moon. It was a blood red bathroom. It was definitely a dystopian tune to it.
Well, I think that Valentino should have a little more class because his products represent high fashion. They're unique. They're made well. Why would you go down that lane?
I try to act like they made it a little more like affordable. But meanwhile, you're still going to be paying a massive price tag for anything Valentino.
Right. And you think that he would come up with something a little more creative. No more politics. Everything's about politics and so political. Uncle.
Well, I also think it's because you need to be heard. You have to jump into something controversial. And that's really what it is. It's no news is good news. And good news is not actually really ever covered. So that gets drowned out by all the other noise. So he made his mark. Whether you like it or not, you can purchase your products.
Hey, he got it.
Hey, we're talking about it.
Exactly.
He's one of our headlines.
Exactly.
Hey, we're talking about it.
Exactly.
We're all mad at ourselves for that. But anyways, okay. Number 3, is it time for Broadway to be or not to be done with Shakespeare plays? So many people have seen every version of Shakespeare plays along the course of their lives, whether it be in a high school, whether it be at your local theater. But do you really want to pay top dollar to go see a show on Broadway, or would you like to see something a little more creative and new?
Well, I think part of this is that there just aren't a lot of new ideas. I mean, if you look at the redos and the reruns of even just, current movies, they're taking everything that was done and redoing it from even back when Lady Gaga and redid Cher's movie, A Star is Born. Like that, they got critical acclaim for that concept. And meanwhile, it wasn't an original thought. So it's constant. Like, I feel like there's a regurgitation because the creative geniuses I don't know where they are because everything seems.
I mean, Romeo and Juliet, there's so many different takes on it. So I do kind of appreciate the fact that if there's somebody that is cutting edge and they're going to take that story and turn it into their own. I liked the Leo DiCaprio version. It was a film, but it wasn't Broadway. But I do like when somebody. Romeo and Juliet.
What did he do? I missed that one. What's the Romeo and Juliet one? I know there's a Broadway show and Juliet.
This is like her. It was just a spin on Romeo and Juliet, and it was a little more modern.
We'll have to look that up.
So, I do appreciate a little bit of a reincarnated creative version, but I don't know that I need to go to Broadway and spend top dollar.
I think if you're a thespian and you are studying theater and everything it encompasses. I mean, for years, when I did acting classes, Shakespeare is the heart and soul of theater. It's just part of that culture. And to take away Shakespeare, you're taking away the history. And I love it. I think it should be there forever because
I'll agree with you on that, Dee. I think that sticking with the classics is one thing, but when everybody continues to have to try and reinvent the same wheel, the original wheel, there's nothing wrong with. And I agree with you on Shakespeare. So.
Okay, number 2, the Idaho murders. Slaughter. Oh, shoot. Can't use that. Sociopath. Yikes. I need to retract that. Are you guys seeing that this Brian Koberger murder trial. They're trying to eliminate the word murder. Can't even reference the murder weapon. Can't allude to the fact that he could be a psychopath or a sociopath. They don't even want the crime scene images to be shown, in the typical nature because they're going to be perceived as inflammatory. Why are we trying to protect this person?
Well, basis of everything is innocent until proven guilty, which I fundamentally agree with. But when you have to have everything be so vanilla, you're not allowed to use language, then that shackles the system in order to evoke understanding, emotion.
Quadruple murder.
Emotion.
4 people were slaughtered by knives. It was a murder scene, a grisly murder scene with a murder weapon and a murderer. Now, we don't know exactly who that person is, but you can certainly allude to the fact that there was a murderer that murdered with a murder weapon.
Innocent into proven guilty.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me.
So how do you even explain what happened?
It makes me sick to my stomach if I was sitting on the other side of the court as my family that just got hacked away, and they want to protect this guy. They don't want to taint anybody's view about what this beast has done. And it's just all about allegedly, and
though.
it's all allegedly. So you have to give this guy a chance.
Let's just
and
use
you
the
have
word
to outwit.
over and over again. Then
right. So you have to outwit, outsmart, outlitigate, and unfortunately, the pressure goes on to the lawyers, and hopefully they can be smart enough and figure out a way to finagle and eventually get all these photos, the videos. I mean, what were you saying, Far? There wasn't the skin or the DNA under the fingernails of his DNA of one of the victims.
DNA from 3 people.
That means there's
wasn't there.
Yeah, but maybe that means there was someone else involved too. So the court system it just makes you sick because this guy should go rot in hell, and it's time to gas him.
Yeah. D. Oh, well, but wait, we have to have wait. We have to have due process though, and we have to be innocent until proven guilty. And I don't know. I don't know the details of the story. If he's not been proven guilty yet, then
the trial hasn't happened.
Once he is proven guilty, he deserves the death sentence.
But that's the semantics,
and that's what they're trying to do is take away the fact that he will even be up for a death sentence. They're trying to remove that before we even get into the courtroom. So,
of course,
why are we trying to protect a scumbag? Regardless of whether or not he is officially at this moment proven guilty, I think our legal system has major flaws. And I don't think that we need to tiptoe around when there's substantial evidence that is showing that this person, who might be the only person that they're looking at, I just don't think that we need to be considerate.
Well, it's also been going on for a couple of years. This has been since 22. So It's not like this happened yesterday. And they have to be thorough.
We have to be very careful the manner in which we handle these kinds of cases because they will change the face of the way everybody else is prosecuted to this point.
No, you got to trust the process.
Go free, like OJ, okay? And people tamper with evidence and they do things that get dismissed. And that's exactly what we don't need in this case. We need this guy to go down.
What do we have for number 1? And Farley, by the way, I love the book that you're reading from. It was one of my favorite Dr. Seuss stories out there.
The place one of my very favorite wedding presents I actually received. Okay, so March Madness.
Number 1.
This is really mad, okay? Conference champions that are ineligible for the tournament while still transitioning into D1 programs. Is this a joke? East Texas, A&M, Stonehill, Lemoyne, Lindenwood, Queens, Southern Indiana, Mercyhurst, they're all filing for D1 status. They won their conferences, but filing can take 3 years or 4 seasons. How unfair is that?
I think it's a part of the NCAA process, and I think it stinks. If you win a championship, there should be no predication on what your status is in that process. You won. It doesn't matter. To me, it would be like if I was an elite athlete and all of a sudden some unknown came in and beat me. What does it matter? If you beat me fairly and I won, I should be in March Madness. I disagree with that piece of it because March Madness is so iconic and so much fun, and it really can make so many schools be put on the map that if they're moving toward this process, that's a win for everybody.
And you can't move towards that process unless you have success. So I know Lindenwood in Queens, they transitioned from D2 because they won the national championship. And so they were good enough to actually make the argument, hey, we belong into a D1 program. And that's where the transition begins. You can't just decide, hey, I'm going to go from D2 or D3 and become a D1 program. You have to have accolades and earn it. So all these schools have earned it. And they're just in that weird transitional state. But how about the athletes? If you signed and you're playing for this program and it's your 4 years of eligibility and you are technically good enough to go to the next level, but now you're trapped in this quagmire. So unfair to the athletes.
The other interesting aspect of that is that you're going to your conference championship and going into it as the school that's competing against the school that's working toward their eligibility. They already know that they can go to the next level because they're ineligible. So it doesn't matter who they're playing. I know that if I win or lose, I'm still going to March Madness. That is a tremendous bummer. And I want to know why. I want to know why NCAA. I want to know why it takes you 3 years to figure out if somebody can we move that process along faster? We want to know, because March Madness is one of my favorite things, like so many people here in the Northeast, to just sit and go and watch basketball with all of your friends. Now we're in basketball season, full swing when we care about it at the college level.
I love
All right. So another thing that goes super well with March Madness is one of my favorite holidays on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. And for over 1,000 years, it's been happening, honoring one of Ireland's patron saints, St. Patrick. And it's just so much fun. And I'm a dual citizen of Ireland. So for me, it's like I'm coming out of my shell even bigger. I do think that it's rookie night out. People go crazy town. But it's about happy times and green beer and green eggs and ham, baby.
Well, it's pretty interesting because St. Patrick was actually British. He wasn't even Irish. Yeah. He actually got kidnapped by Irish pirates. Do you guys know this story?
Yeah.
And he's turned into shepherd, and he became a farmer, but really went back to his Christian roots and started trying to bring Christianity to the surface to help him deal with the adversity that he went through in his life. So he's really the patron of saints for bringing Christianity to Ireland.
And your husband is named Patrick after St. Patrick, I'm sure. Just, I know we all had some kind of family name of a saint or someone special like that.
I'm Irish by default. I'm Irish by injection. Not. But I take pride in my last name. I'm a Boyle. Everybody always looks at me and they're like, hey, Farley Boyle, you're Irish. And I'm like, yeah, I am. Feels damn good to be Irish on St. Patty's Day.
Well, my
Everybody's
family,
Irish on St. Patty's Day.
When you think of St. Patrick's Day, what are your favorite memories? What's your flow? What's your vibe
I loved being
that day?
A mom of kids. Oh. I feel like that was my favorite thing in the entire world, was knowing that St. Patty's Day was the next morning and dyeing the toilets and eggs green and just having leprechauns leave Lucky Charm trails and all the fun magic that just made my kids always getting like a new shirt and socks and little headgear. To me, it was just the most fun thing to see these little people believe.
Yeah.
I love the belief system.
I just always love taking the kids. And like I said, we went to the St. Patrick's Day parade here in Rumson on Saturday. The magic of just the kids watching the parade and seeing everybody dressed up and just being out and about again, and it feeling like spring and renewal. It's just so fun for them to look at the magic and the hope and the luck of what St. Patrick's is. And you referenced St. Patrick and everything about the renewal in the faith and the spread of Christianity. And I think the shamrock is associated with him. The divinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost on the shamrock is at the 3. It's not the 4-leaf clover. A shamrock is 3. That's probably why that's associated with St. Patrick's Day. And the shamrock is the faith, love, hope, and luck. And I love thinking about luck, because luck is something that you definitely have a little bit in you, but you also can make. And I always love to impart that to my kids. Like, you have to make your own luck sometimes in life and set yourself up for that opportunity and prepare for it. I think there's even a famous quote about that exactly. It says, being prepared when the opportunity strikes is the definition of luck. And I love that about this time of the year. because I do think that that rings true.
So guess
It's
where
the luck of the Irish.
Guess where it came
Yeah.
from? People think, that it was actually an insult. It came from a group of very skilled Irish gold panners, and they were mining for gold and silver, and they were very good at their job. So they were profitable, and they started calling it the luck of the Irish, but it wasn't lucky. They were strategic. They knew where to be. They had the system in place. And so they were very successful miners. And that's where the luck of the Irish came from.
I love the luck of the
19th
Irish.
century, and it was during the gold rush.
Oh, so, okay.
And they
So
just
it's
said that the phrase was sometimes used in a derogatory way to suggest that luck was the sole reason for the miners' success rather than their intelligence or skill set.
I love that. Well, I think of St. Patrick's Day, it's my friend MC's, well, my late friend whose Cadillac I have, MC, it's his birthday on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. So we always
What a
think
great
about him.
birthday.
Oh, well, when we lived in Tahoe, he had a bungee jumping company called Vertigo Bungee. So we would go to UC Davis, and there was a bridge there. So we get our whole entire crew. We'd go to the bridge at night because it was illegal, and you'd start bungee jumping. And we would drink Jack and Cokes. We would
that's
have
smart.
like coffee drinks, and you would jump all night. And all of a sudden, a train would come. People would scatter. Now, if you're stuck on the bungee, I think it was like 250 feet down. You have a glow stick as your only light. It was kind of, you held the glow stick, and you'd be upside down, and you kind of pull yourself up, wait for the train to go by, and then they'd all drag you up, and we would jump all night long. And we would do this for years and years. I just always love St. Patrick's Day because it reminds me of those memories and MC, and it's just a special day for me and all my friends in
And the
Tahoe.
luck you survived it. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like the day that I don't want to know about as a parent. I'll be honest.
No way. It was so fun. You just stand
My
on
children
top of
are
this
not allowed to
bridge.
listen to this episode.
Oh, no, you'd stand on top of this bridge and just airtime literally into the pitch black.
After drinking Jack and Coke. No thanks.
Well, you're drinking them all night, so you're fine. But the guys that are running the rope, they may not have been drinking, maybe a little bit, but it's fun. It was such
Just
a rush.
shots, just little ones, small.
Nothing better than going to New York City and going to Old Town Tavern or whatever your favorite haunt is and having some true Irish food. And there's a lot of myths out there about what is true Irish food and what isn't. So what are your favorite Irish meals?
Well, I can tell you, we went back to heritage. My father was born in Scotland, and we have Irish roots. My maiden name is Heaney. The couple of cookbooks that I was given to me by my grandmother, the Irish are not known really for their food, but potatoes are always amazing. And I know the corned beef and hash is Americanized, but my father grew up on tripe. Which is, for those that don't know, cow's tongue, which, like I said, the Irish are not known. They like to boil things. Everything is boiled in that region
that
of the world.
Chewy and rubbery.
Yeah.
No, the cow's tongue, my dad always ate it. With mustard and onion, and I would eat it with him.
And I feel like I could see the taste buds.
Yeah, you could see them.
No. And then lima beans were always a big staple of the Scottish/Irish, because there is still some debate in my family lineage, and I have not done the 23andMe or any of those genetic testings. But my dad, like I said, my dad emigrated off the boat, and there definitely is English and Irish in our Scottish heritage because they did live in Glasgow, Scotland. But my grandmother, who we believe is more English and Irish than Scottish, she was the worst cook on the entire planet. We would go to dinner over there. We would all hide things under the mashed potatoes.
Oh my God.
It was never, ever a good day. We wanted to go to my other side of the family, the Italians, to go to have dinner. But very, very interesting variety of food.
Ireland has the best butter. It's some of the best that I've ever had. And the Guinness tastes completely different in Ireland. The food is great. It's potatoes, it's corned beef hash, or corned beef hash.
Pie, which I love. I was thinking about making
pie.
Shepherd's
pie. A lot of lamb.
Guinness. How about the baby Guinness shots? It's Guinness and I think Kahlua. And we pass it around, or Bailey's. Sorry, Bailey's and Kahlua.
Yeah, that's
Bailey's,
really delicious.
and Guinness.
Irish carbo?
They were shots. They're called baby Guinnesses. And but
I
it's
have an interesting factoid. I did not know this until I was doing a little research, but the original color that went hand in hand with St. Patrick's Day was not green, it was blue. So in the 1600s, all of a sudden, green started to matriculate and it took over blue. Britain was blue and they wanted to get away from blue because they were oppressed and didn't want to be
Part of Britain.
part of Britain. And you think about lush rolling hills and green shamrocks and things, and green became the color, which is my favorite.
And it's a Kelly green. It's not any other color. It's not lime green. It's not like deep green. It's not hunter green. It's Kelly green.
And I got another weird fact.
Okay, give us a fact.
Well, Pat and I were driving home from the airport, and it was funny because I said to him, "Where did the luck of the Irish come from, Mr. Patrick Boyle, lucky boy?" And because he told me I was lucky to be married to him for 25 years. It's our anniversary. So I told him that the luck came from miners. I was giving him this 411, and he thought it was because St. Patrick threw all the snakes out of Ireland.
I heard that. I've heard that.
Now, there were no snakes in Ireland.
But that's why he's lucky.
So, and my husband would never touch a snake or a bug or anything else for that matter. No bugs. Bugs, snakes, no.
Bugs are unlucky. We don't like bugs here on Girls Gone Gritty. So we'll leave the bugs and we will stay with the luck of the Irish. And we're going to hope that you continue to celebrate an amazing weekend of fun and festivities. If you're here in Little Silver, there's a wonderful St. Patrick's Day event at the firehouse that benefits the firehouse. They do those kind of all over because that's the other thing about the Irish. They are givers. A lot of them are the first responders. They're the people that are volunteers in our community. So
they're playing bagpipers and they're cruising through, the bars, trying to just make it authentic.
Make it fun.
Yeah.
Make it fun. So if you can get out your kilt and go drink a pint of Guinness, do a shot of what is it? Carbon? We don't even remember.
Irish carbon. Yes, we have him skiing St. Patrick's Day out of our friend's back of his truck. He makes Irish car bombs. So it's Guinness and Bailey's. You drop delicious. A shot of Bailey's into the Guinness and you just chug-a-lug. Oh, I love St. Patrick's Day. But ladies, after this weekend in High Fives, I know we always have our Got Grit winner of the week. And I have a really special person. If I could tell you about her, if I could go.
Yes, we would love to hear about her.
So her name is Kelsey Driscoll, and I've surfed with her for a couple of years. She's a giant ball of energy. So when you ski with her, you could tell that skiing is part of her life, and it always has been because she was showing me photos of when she was little on her skis. Well, in 2021, she had like a life-altering accident when she said, "Oh, one more run," and she was tubing, and it was a horrific accident. So from there, she had spiral fractures and she'd never be the same. Well, all of a sudden, she starts getting better and she finds Vermont Adaptive, which is the most amazing program here in Vermont. She's kind of learning to ski, and then she finds High Fives, which we've talked about a lot. And her fire is there. When we surf, she's like, just wants to go on the biggest waves. I skied with her last year for the skiathon, and she's skiing down FIS, which is literally one of the steepest runs. It was like Volkswagen bumps, and she just sent it. In 2023, she was told for the third time, because she had medical problems, that, you know what, you're not going to walk again. So she never, ever took no for an answer. She just loves skiing. She ended up becoming Gore Mountain's first adaptive ski patroller. She was on the cover of Ski Patrol magazine. And then last year at the High Fives event, I see her skiing fast, and I'm like, oh my God, you're so good. Well, she didn't tell her parents, and she went and she did this race with gates, like a slalom, whatever it was. And someone happened to video her. Well, they saw her run, and they sent it to the director of National Sports Center for the Disabled Race Program, which is basically the feeder for the U.S. Paralympic team. Immediately, they invited her to Colorado for a training session. She doesn't have that much money. She doesn't have gear. So she's all of a sudden asking for gear. Can you help me? She has a GoFundMe page. Barkley Rappaport, George Cooperthwaite from Stokely Skis gave her the fastest race skis that you could possibly imagine. She goes out and she just starts dominating. And then she goes to a race, I guess this year. She just got, what did she get? She got 6th in the slalom and 8th in a World Cup and was just brought on to the U.S. ski team. And her goals are to make it to the Olympics, which I think she will, and to medal next year. And she has fought tooth and nail. No obstacle would ever get in her way. And she's just a ball of energy. And I feel that she's the Got Grit winner. And I feel that we should bring her on the show. But she's super special.
Sounds amazing. Kelsey sounds amazing.
She does.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for sharing that with us, Darian. We'll definitely have to connect with her and get her on the show for sure, and watch her as she moves to the Olympics, which is an incredible feat in itself.
And Darian is bringing us our Got Gritty tune today. And what would that be? Our inspirational tune.
I love it. I feel like it's my day. I've been talking a lot today. I love bringing music. And when I think about songs, one of my favorite, well, I can't, that will give you way too many hints. Okay. Makes me that much stronger. Makes me work a little bit harder. Makes me that much wiser. So thanks for making me a fighter. Makes me learn a little bit faster. Makes my skin a little bit thicker. Makes me that much smarter. So thanks for making me a fighter. Now, this song is my new walkout song that Jen actually had picked for me. And now it's just the song that I think of whenever I want to get stoked and have a great day. And
it is.
Would you say it's my play that when you come out and start commentating and hosting the pond skimming event in Sugarbush
that we will all be attending, Look for Girls Gone Gritty for that. But we love Christina Aguilera and we love that song because it really embodies you, D. It really does. You are a badass.
I'm a fighter. You try to knock me down, I'm getting back up on my feet and I'm going to hit back. I'm going to punch it back. So that's my song for the day. I love it. And ladies, it's just been an epic episode today.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning into another Girls Gone Gritty. If you want to support us wholeheartedly, and we appreciate you for tuning in today, please make a comment, share us with someone that you love, know, and trust, somebody that needs some luck, somebody that wants to hear an inspirational, motivational story like our Got Grit winner this week. So we appreciate you. We love you. And thank you so much for tuning in. Peace out.
Bye.
Happy St. Paddy's Day.